The injury of Gabriel Jesus has caused a certain situation of insurgency in the Arsenal boardroom between Edu, the sporting director, and the manager of Arsenal, and obviously it is calling for a rethinking of a transfer plan because one of the players that was so much pivotal into their season has really gotten an injury and he has returned back to London to undergo what we call a scan, and obviously a final analysis will be drawn by the physios of a team which goes by names of Arsenal. Today, Arsenal has traveled to Dubai in the warm weather training to take place there, and obviously we are going to let you know what is going to happen down there. And the players that have really been taken by Mikel Arteta are hereby going to be shown by me onto the Rokani Media Football. And lastly, it's Bukayo Saka coming out and speaking about his third goal scored in the World Cup, and obviously talking about the captain of the English national team, that is Kane. Welcome to Rokani Media Football, guys. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Fourth video of the day. This is what we do. This is how we do it onto the Rokani Media Football. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the subscription button. Smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we upload a video onto this channel. And this is what we do on a daily. Now let's do something concerning Gabriel Jesus. We've been told by Get Global in there for you, they are from Brazil, that Gabriel Jesus had already been complaining about a new sense in his knee while at Arsenal. He will travel to England this afternoon to start treatment with the possibility of surgery, but the case will be analyzed by the club's medicals. I've also told you that he posted, or his wife posted, when they're on plane to London to undergo what we call the scan. And the scan is going to let us know what he's suffering in from. But it's been a very huge blow for Gabriel Jesus because this is something you don't want to happen at the time when you are 5 points ahead of Man City. You're having Gabriel Jesus, one of your players that has been so much pivotal and integral into your season. So you want him to be fully fit and not having an injury. But these injuries are part of the plan. That's why in every position you should be having like 2 or 3 players to compete for it. And for the center forward position, it's really so much important because you need to be having 3 center forwards at the club. Why do you need to be having 3 center forwards at the club? Because the moment one gets injured, that means you are left with 2. But for the sake of Arsenal, they're having 2. Now Gabriel Jesus is down, only Edin Nketiah is left, meaning that Edin Nketiah should be playing 90 minutes for a team which goes by names of Arsenal until Gabriel Jesus returns back. So that is where Arsenal has found itself in a situation that is really worrying, and they have to go out and really find a solution to this. Now, after that, we've been told by the Footy Insider that Arsenal has no plans at this stage to devolve into the transfer market for a loan or permanent striker signing in January as a replacement for the injured Gabriel Jesus, but are targeting other options. This is what Footy Insider is telling us, that Arsenal have no plans to go out and find out a striker on loan or bring in a permanent striker to come in and really get the job done for a team which goes by names of Arsenal. So the Footy Insider is telling us that Arsenal are still insisting on the plan. The plan is simple: getting a winger, a central midfielder, and maybe a defender. They need 3 players in their squad. And maybe it can stay like that if at all Arsenal get in a winger who can lead the line too. But according to the wingers they're really looking at, I believe it's Marcus Thuram who is playing for France. You saw him play very many games for France in the World Cup. He has been coming on every game. I think I've not seen him lead the line, but it's said that he can also lead the line. Cody Gakpo, Arsenal is looking at him. He can also lead the line. The other one is Bukayo Modric. Bukayo Modric can also lead the line and play as a left attacking midfielder and behind the number 9 of the club of Arsenal. So I believe the reason as to why Arsenal might not be changing their plan is because they want to go in and really find a perfect player who can play as a left forward, right forward, and a center forward. Like you see Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus can play as a left forward, a wide forward, in all the left and right flanks and also lead the line. He can also play behind that number 9 of the club. So though he came in at Arsenal on condition that I'm coming at Arsenal to lead the line, and if at all he never led the line at Arsenal, he wouldn't have found himself into that Brazilian national team, because Coach Tite had better players to play off the wide areas of the pitch in the offensive side of the Brazilian national team. Firmino would have gone in his position, because Firmino has gone ahead to bag in very many goals than Jesus at Arsenal. But because Jesus was being played at Arsenal as a centre forward and scored 5 goals, obviously went in for close to 6-7 assists in the Premier League, I believe he had a better way to come on and really lead the line for Arsenal. But obviously, after Foot Insider, we are having a contradicting story coming in from Sam Dean. He's a football reporter for the Daily Telegraph and Sunday Telegraph, confirming something concerning a player who goes by the names of Gabriel Jesus and how Arsenal are going to go on and really face what we call the transfer window. He's telling us that Arsenal tried to plan their transfer business well in advance of the window opening and had prioritized a move for a winger in January. A central midfielder is also on the agenda. It remains to be seen whether the injury to Jesus will force Edu to rethink his plans. Oh, I'm sorry. This story is not contradicting with what Foot Insider told us. I think these two are really in the same line, but Sam Dean is just trying to inject in something of whether they are going to rethink of bringing in a centre forward to come in and really do on and put a patch as Gabriel Jesus really recovers from his injury. But all this is going to depend on what the scan is going to tell us tomorrow, because I believe by tomorrow evening everything will be out and the scan would have told us what Gabriel Jesus is going to undergo. Is he going to undergo a surgery, or he's just going to be treated and that knee will really come to a healing? But I believe Gabriel Jesus, the player that I know, he's going to tell them, let me play with this knee, try to treat it, and then at the end of the season, I'm going to go all out and undergo a surgery, because very many players have been playing with knee injuries. We've known that very well, and painkillers have been applied onto their bodies. I remember Ronaldo playing with a knee injury when United won the Champions League. It was his season. He scored 42 goals the entire season. He won the Ballon d'Or, he won the Champions League, won the Premier League. So everything was in his hand and control. But he had to forego going a surgery and said, I'll go undergo a surgery in the summer. And obviously underwent the surgery in the summer, and almost the season of 2009, 2010, that of 2008, 2009, he played like half of it because he was down with injury. And I believe Gabriel Jesus, with what Arsenal is having on to fight for, I believe he's going to go in and say, all right, I'm going to go out and fight for my club. That is Arsenal. But obviously, Edu and Arsenal may be forced to rethink on the plans they have for the transfer window, because a very crucial player, pivotal to what they have achieved this season, has gone ahead to get an injury at the World Cup, and that is Gabriel Jesus, who has been doing a very fantastic job at a club which goes by names of Arsenal in there for you. Now, we know that Arsenal's Bukayo Saka has gone ahead to be among the people who scored goals against the team which goes by the names of Senegal. And obviously England has won that game by 3-0, and Bukayo Saka scored the 3rd goal. After the game, this is what Bukayo Saka has gone ahead to tell BBC, that Harry Kane is like inevitable. You know, he was always going to score goals. I was never worried about that. He's been exceptional for us. He's like glue of the team, the way he links up attacks. Obviously, if at all you saw that first goal and the way he linked up that attack, with that quick pass coming in from Phil Foden, and obviously doing a 1-2 passing between Luke Shaw and Harry Kane. Harry Kane found out a pass for Jude Bellingham from the deep area of the inside tunnel, and obviously found Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham took an extra touch and did a cutback to find Jordan Henderson, and Jordan Henderson buried it home. So it shows you how good this player is, and he links up the attacks very, very well. And I think he adapted this thing ever since Jose Mourinho came in and started managing a team which goes by names of Spurs. That's when Harry Kane started to to change into a deep lying center forward who is really very good at creating goals for a team which goes by names of England. Bukayo Saka said, I think Kane has a few assists already. It's not like he isn't doing anything for us. So I knew he would get his goal, and he showed unbelievable composure because it took him so long to strike the ball. Yes, if at all you saw that ball that Phil Foden just did a single touch to him, he took time and looked at the goalkeeper, and he knew there was a defender coming, and he took his shot with precision and composure into the back of the net. So it shows you that he's experienced, because an inexperienced player would have gone in for a very quick shot. But Harry Kane took his time. He knew that this is my moment. I'm facing the goalkeeper. The entire defense is behind me, and no one is going to take this ball off me. And he took that shot into the back of the net to make it 2-0 for a team which goes by the names of England. Then Bukayo Saka concluded and said, but he managed to do what Harry Kane does and put the ball in the back of the net. So that is Bukayo Saka and his thoughts of Harry Kane. And today he has scored his third goal, and only Kylian Mbappe has scored more at the World Cup. That is because today he scored a brace. Is Mbappe having only 4 goals? I think, is Mbappe having 5? Let me check here. Mbappe, where are you? Mbappe. How many goals are you having at the World Cup? Mbappe has 5 goals. Yeah, I've seen people coming out and saying that Mbappe is having how many? That Mbappe is having 5 goals. Why? He scored a brace. He scored a brace in the first game. He scored one against Denmark. He scored a brace against Denmark. He has scored a brace today. I think there is a game he never scored. France first played Australia. Mbappe scored 1. He scored a brace against Denmark. The last game against Tunisia he never scored, though he came on through. And today he has scored a brace. Those are 5 goals. So he's having 5 goals, and Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford are having 3 goals. Obviously, Cody Gakpo is having 3. So let's wait and see how that unfolds. But obviously, he has gone ahead to score his 3rd goal of the World Cup, and that is very much important for him and his career at the World Cup in Qatar. Now, today, as we told you, Arsenal is flying. All flew to Dubai, and obviously the squad is already out. This is the squad that has traveled to Dubai, and we are having it in 2 portions. One is the first team that never went to the World Cup, and the others are sorry about that. And the others are the players that are from the reserve or the academy. Now, the first team players included in the squad to travel to Dubai: Kane, Tierney, Gabriel Magalhaes, Rob Holding, Cedric Soares, Zinchenko, Elneny, Lokonga, Odegaard, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nelson Marquinhos, and Eddie Nketiah. Let's go to those from the academy. They include the following: Grazeske, Hilson, Walters, Molnanias, Foran Sousa, Smith, Lewis, Nwaneri, Sijarian, Kozia, Dabjeri, Segeyo, and Bata Oyejeri. Those are coming from the academy. Let's look a little bit at those that are playing for the first team. Let's put our eyes on Emily Smith-Rowe, who's returning from injury. We are told that he's not going to be participating in first team training, but he's going to be training alone because he is fully back into personal training. He's doing some gym work, and I think he's not yet gotten time to get back on the grass to get the job done for a team which goes by names of Arsenal. So thank you very much for watching again. Tell me what to think about Edu and Arteta to rethink their transfer plan after the Gabriel Jesus injury. Then Bukayo Saka reacting to Harry Kane and what we had to do today in the game of England is beat Senegal by 3-0 to progress to the quarterfinals to face France, the first real test for France and England in that quarterfinal. And lastly, what do you think about the squad that Mikel Arteta has picked to go on and train down in Dubai for the warm weather training? I sign out for now. See you later. We kickstart off our day tomorrow, I think, with Raheem Sterling flying back to England because his family was robbed, and let's wait and see what's going to come from there. But stories coming from his side are really sad, and that's why we never saw him today play in the team of England. And obviously that reflects back to why Ben White was really thrown out of the camp, that it's family matters. But for Raheem Sterling, we've been told that everything is okay. Everything is all about the robbery. But for Ben White, we've not been told why. That's why I came out and insinuated that maybe he had a very huge bust out with the manager when he never got any minutes to play in the game of Wales, because he had a chance to play, but he was not brought on to play a single minute in that game of football. I'm out for now. See you later. Don't forget to subscribe, and may the Almighty Lord watch you over.